Hello and welcome to Deadline Horror News Live here for March 30th, 2022. I'm Josh. I'm joined here with Donnie.
Yo.
Will is on assignment and Professor Smoke is actually on vacation. He's down in Orlando enjoying Universal Studios. So we'll catch back up with him next week, hopefully. And he's actually, we're going to have some special segments over on the Library of the Professor starting next week. Where he's actually taping some stuff on location down there. So you can look forward to that over on patreon.com/Spookshow. As always, of course, we want to remind you to like and subscribe to the channel here. Go down below and click on the bell to be notified when we upload new videos and when we go live here on the streams every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. East-ish. We want you to also become a supporter of the Spook Show by going over to patreon.com/Spookshow and sign up to become a patron. We have levels starting at $1, $3, all the way up to the crazy $1,000 Spook Show Insanity level. Over there, every Tuesday, you get a video mini-sode featuring the Library of the Professor. Bonus podcast every month, like Spook Show Rewind and Crapsterpiece Theater. And, of course, Professor's retro review articles. Those are written articles that, some older movies that we haven't talked about. Some of his written reviews, and tons more over there. Speaking of Crapsterpiece, we just released the first episode of Crapsterpiece Theater, and that is the Garbage Pail Kids, which I didn't make like a fancy graphic to put up on the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's out now. That literally just came out yesterday evening. Yeah. I'm getting my data screwed up. Yeah, it came out yesterday evening. So if you join us over at patreon.com/Spookshow, you can see what we had to say about the old Garbage Pail Kids. Here's a hint. It's on Crapsterpiece Theater. That's all you really know.
Oh, yeah.
But we also want to remind you, as you see there on the screen, episode 101, the beginning of our next 100 episodes, just came out this past Monday, and it was Will's choice this time, and he chose Night of the Living Dead from 1968. So you really honestly can't go wrong with that one. It's the first time we've done a George A. Romero film. No better place to start than pretty much at the beginning with him, right?
Straight up. Yeah. It was an excellent choice, by the way.
Yeah. Great pull, and it turned out it was a great episode. So you want to go listen to that wherever you get your podcast, or it's loaded up right here on the YouTube channel. You don't even have to go anywhere. Just go check it out. Yeah. Just go over, to the video section here, and you can see it and listen to it there. Next week, episode 102, Spook Show Spotlight on George A. Romero. So we didn't really go deep into Romero's career during the Night of the Living Dead episode because we knew we were going to do this spotlight. And Donnie, you were under the weather when we recorded this, so you weren't able to be there. But it was Smoke and I flying duo on that one. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. It should be uploaded over on Patreon. If not in the next couple of days, definitely by this weekend, because our patrons get them early. If you're at the $5 level, you get it early. Otherwise, you have to wait with the rest of the normal folks to get it every Monday at 6. Yeah, the commoners. But yeah, that'll be coming out next Monday, on the regular podcast feed, and then of course, Crapsterpiece Theater poll. You've got until literally tomorrow night at midnight. That's when the poll ends.
Do we have a clear-cut winner? I mean, clear-cut leader, I guess.
Last I checked, it seems like it's somewhat of a two-horse race, kind of between Nothing But Trouble and Troll 2.
Wow.
So it's and that's. I think Jaws actually has enough votes to possibly sneak up. If there's a last-minute wave here, who knows? But the one thing it looks like for sure, thank Christ, that we won't be watching the Apple. It looks like unless there's a groundswell over the next 24 hours, it looks like it's going to be one of the other ones. So I'm sure we'll get there eventually. But
I'm sure we'll get to the Apple at some point somewhere.
Let's hope not. But if we do, I mean, we probably eventually will. But at least it's looking like we won't have to worry about it this time around. But yeah, you see your 4 choices there. You got until tomorrow night midnight. The Apple, Nothing But Trouble, Jaws, The Revenge, which was Jaws 4, and then Troll 2. So Those are your choices. So go over to our Twitter. There's a poll, and then you can comment on the on any of our socials. The poll is also over on Patreon. You don't have to be a patron to vote on that one. So go over to patreon.com/spookshow for the poll there. If you don't want to look at it on Twitter, many options to vote, or you can comment on this video wherever. We'll count the votes wherever you do it. We'll count them. Coming up soon. There you see it. Like beyond episode 101 that just came out yesterday, 102 is the Romero spotlight next week. Beyond that, you get my choice. Episode 103, Deathgasm.
Oh my God.
So I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
Yeah. And then episode 104, the first episode of Cannon Fodder, our new little sub-series that's going to be starting. We spun the wheel. What was that? That was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
We spun the wheel. We all chose a Cannon film. We spun it, and the winner was Over the Top, the Sylvester Stallone classic from Cannon. So, yeah, we got a couple big things lined up for it and everything. So that's going to be another awesome series we've got going on there. I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag here now that the author of the Cannon Film Guide that we had back on an episode back in January.
Yeah.
Austin Trunick.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be he's not necessarily going to be on the episode, but like he's going to be a recurring guest on our Cannon Fodder episodes. He's going to have his little Austin's corner, so to speak. He's going to be able to give his 2 cents and a little bit of background and everything on Over the Top. So you don't want to miss out on that. Lots of cool stuff. And then, of course, our next big thing releasing soon over on Patreon will be the next Spook Show Rewind 4, where we go back and we watched Terrified. We originally did that one back in episode 4 all the way. It was literally at the end of 2018 when we did that one. So this gives Donnie, who wasn't here at the time, an opportunity to give his 2 cents. And we got that coming up pretty soon over on Patreon. So that's what you got to look forward to over the next few weeks. So I guess that's pretty much it. So I'll toss it over to you, Donnie, for the latest deadlines and horror news.
Yeah, this one actually just kind of dropped today. Bruce Willis, he's stepping away from acting. He was diagnosed with aphasia, which is a language disorder that affects a person's ability to communicate, written form, spoken language. Unfortunately, it's pretty common. It's a pretty common disorder. More than 200,000 cases every year. But definitely sad to hear, his condition. But he's got over 140 acting credits. Some of the most iconic films of our time. He's certainly had a legendary career. And as you see on the slide here, The Sixth Sense, that was the second highest grossing horror movie of all time, right behind It, from 2017, which actually brings us to our next headline. Before we go here, we certainly wish Bruce Willis well.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say Bruce Willis is one of the greatest actors of all time, but he's definitely one of the biggest movie stars.
Definitely.
And definitely one of the biggest stars of our generation, or, say of the last 30 some odd years, right? I mean, since the mid 80s.
Certainly. Yeah.
Starting on TV with Moonlighting all the way up to, all the awesome, the Die Hard series and all the other awesome movies the dude's made, man. You hate to see that this happens to anybody, but especially one of the, the great actors that we've all on a lot of levels, I'm sure all of us have enjoyed something this dude has done over the last 30, 35 years. So thoughts and everything go out to his family and him. And hopefully, you never know. Maybe there's some treatment or something that can happen here that, might allow him to do something again one day. Hopefully it's not the end of his acting career. But if it is, hey, he's left a hell of a resume behind him. Yeah.
So we mentioned, Sixth Sense being the second highest grossing horror movie of all time, right behind It, from 2017, which actually brings us to our second headline. There was a prequel series that is in the works at HBO Max. So the series is currently called Welcome to Derry. And it's going to begin in the 1960s. Obviously, it's going to be a prequel, but it's also said to be the origin story of Pennywise the Clown.
So obviously, if you're saying this is going to be in the 60s, that means it's not necessarily following the book version, because the book version, I think that was in the 50s. So, like the main story, the two It movies that we saw were like what, in the late 80s, early 90s, something like that? Early 90s.
It was a TV miniseries at that time.
Yeah, so the kids' side of the story in these newer It movies was in the early 90s, and then fast forward to like present time. So in this world, the 60s would be, 30 years prior.
Yep.
Because how many years was it apart? I'm blanking now. It was 20.
I think it was 30. I think that's about accurate.
But there was so many years Pennywise was supposed to show up, right? There was a certain number, like 27, 25. I don't know. Whatever. There was a number. Every 27 years, Pennywise shows back up. So I'm assuming that means we're just going to the time before he would have showed up to those kids. Right? Yeah. Either way, I mean that's interesting, and I don't think Stephen King ever touched on many origins there. It'll be interesting to see because spoiler alert, I don't know how many people have read or know about his Dark Tower series. Whatever Pennywise is, obviously he's not a clown, right? He's some kind of fucking alien, or he's like some kind of demon alien or some shit like that, right? In reality, that character also shows up in the Dark Tower series in a whole other place, in a whole other world. So it'll be interesting to see if they tap into that side of things, in this prequel series.
Yeah, you lost me at book. So,
yeah.
No, but as far as like who's involved with it, Andy Muschietti, along with Barbara Muschietti.
They did the two movies.
Yep. Yeah, I'm probably butchering their names, but both of those are slated to executive produce, along with Jason Fuchs. I guess it's Fuchs or Fuchs. I guess it's.
I'm pretty sure it's Fuchs, but I can see where you might think that.
Yeah. So, and I believe Jason Fuchs is also writing as well. Right.
Well, yeah, the Muschiettis, they did a good job on those two movies. So
yeah,
at least it should stay true to the tone, if nothing else. Now, is it going to be? Was there any word in that about whether it was going to be Skarsgard playing Pennywise again?
That was not clear in the article.
You would think if they're going to do this, and for HBO Max, they'd have to get him back for this, right?
Yeah, I would say it would be, unless they. Nah, I don't know. I'd say they would almost have to.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah,
and if, like I said, if HBO Max is there, they'd throw the money at it to get him in.
Yeah.
So sounds good.
Make it work. Yep.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Next headline is so. This was actually announced back in 2017. It was. It's basically the remake of Nosferatu. It's being done by the director of The Witch, The Lighthouse, who also has The Northman, which is releasing this year, Robert Eggers. But in a recent article in the New Yorker, it was revealed that the production for the Nosferatu remake was recently halted. It's not really sure. I mean, it's not really clear as to what state the current production is in.
So it really sounds like more of the same. I mean, because I think we actually spoke about this briefly in that the 1922, 100 years ago episode that we just recently did, within the last month or so.
Yeah.
How there had been talks about this happening. So really, to me, it sounds like the update is there's not much of an update.
It's they were filming and then they stopped filming, but it's not really sure. It's not really clear as to why they stopped filming or what's currently going on with the production.
Yeah, because the one comment that I saw from Robert Eggers about it was like, it sounded like even in like his answer when he was asked about it, he was kind of waffling like, well, this is something we worked on for a while and I like to do it, but also in the same breath he's like, but does this movie really need to be redone? So it's almost like he's contemplating out loud, like, well, I'd love to do it, but should I do it? So I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
It would be cool to see another updated version,
Yeah.
because we had that one from the late 70s with Klaus Kinski as Nosferatu that Werner Herzog did. So, you're far enough removed from that now to where it would be kind of cool to see another updated version of it. So, hey, we'll see. And
Yeah,
Robert Eggers is one of the better directors going today. So,
certainly.
I'm sure he would do an excellent job on it.
Yeah, let me adjust my sound here. All right. But yeah, so kind of moving on to the final headline here. There's a Gibson Guitars. They have their own kind of media channel or basically media branch. It's Gibson TV. So they have launched their first show kind of dedicated to, the worlds of heavy metal and monster culture. So it's hosted by Count D, which is, the basis for Rob Zombie. Mm-hmm. For the first episode, Count D reunites Don Dokken with Robert Englund. And they celebrate. Oh, that's going to be awesome. And they celebrate the 35th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that's freaking 35 years old, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so you can watch the first episode on YouTube. Do we have that in the show notes?
You mean where to find it, or
yeah, as far as where to find it?
No, I did not, but we can add that later on.
We can add it later.
Yeah. Because I actually pulled it up and started. Like I watched the first minute of it. I'm like, well, I'll get to this later, and I haven't gone back. But yeah, it looks like it's well done.
Yeah, I did the same. I'll probably watch it. Because I do the stuff at work sometimes.
Yeah, one of us will get around to it, and then we'll report back whether it's whether it's worth watching or not. But it sounds cool. Just in theory, it sounds awesome.
Yeah. Plus, we've got the upcoming episode, Deathgasm. That'll be
it'd be a nice tie-in. Maybe we can try to watch it before next week, and we can report back whether it's worth the time or not.
That'd be cool. But that's about all for the headlines. Moving on to
conventions and everything. I could only find one. There you see. Dark Side of the Con 2022. Now it seems like even there it says North America's Dark Alternative Convention. So it's like this one's like a step beyond just horror. It's like there's a lot of bands, including probably the most well-known band would be Orgy. There's a few others, the Birthday Massacre, Comba Christ, over 25 other bands are going to be there. So that's damn near like turning into a music festival pretty much.
Yeah, just about.
We have that many bands. But there's going to be a lot more other, a different kind of guests. There's going to be an illusionist, Dan Sperry, Carnival Sideshow, which, they do like your carnival sideshow type stuff, literally like, swallowing swords and juggling flaming sticks. Juggling flaming sticks. Stuff like that. And lots of guests like that. So it's kind of like that, dark dark alternative, emo, however you want to phrase it. I don't know exactly what corner to paint itself in, but it's that kind of vibe going on, it seems like, for this. So if you're in the Parsippany, Troy Hills, New Jersey area, which is rather specific. I don't know what major, I guess that's in kind of outside New York City. I'm not sure.
No idea.
But either way, if you're up in that area this weekend, April 1st to the 3rd, there you go. You can go to darksideofthecon.com for tickets, information, and all that mess. The box office report this week. Only a couple of little changes there. The Batman actually fell down from number 1. Now, this is for this past weekend of March 25th to the 27th. Number 5, down from number 2, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie, which we talked about this last week. Mm-hmm. Anime movie, so you lost me there. But I mean, it's made pretty good so far just in 2 weeks, $27.7 million. So, Hey, say what you will. You know, different strokes for different folks, right? Number 4, down from 3, Uncharted. Number 3, RRR.
I was going to say, roo,
I think you say RRR, but who the fuck knows, right? It's like an Indian, so it's like a Bollywood like action adventure type flick. But it made $9.5 million in its first week. So, and then the Batman fell from its perch from number 1 down to number 2 with just over $20.4 million for the weekend. So far in 4 weeks, $331.9 million for the Batman. So
I still got to get out and see it.
Yeah, same here. I haven't seen it. Now, Smoke said he saw it and he loved it, but I haven't had a chance to go see it yet. But number 1 this week, the latest action flick from Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, The Lost City, made $30.4 million in its opening week. So as you can see from this top 5, like there's really only a couple flicks out right now, you know, but I'm sure this is kind of the calm before the storm. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bigger releases over the next month.
Closer to summer.
Yeah. Once you get into April and then finally May, there's going to be some big ones coming. So that's the latest on the old box office report. New releases this week. We've got tomorrow over on Shudder, Night's End. And then Friday we have 3 flicks. Let the Wrong One In is the VOD release, and then 2 in theaters. The biggest one being the latest from Marvel, which is this one's actually a Sony release, Morbius. So this ties into the Spider-Man universe more than it does like, you know, the MCU proper. But that's the latest big one. I think that one's charting to be probably number 1 this week. So I'm sure The Lost City will fall off its perch when we talk about this again next week, the Morbius. And then the other one this week is You Won't Be Alone with Noomi Rapace in it. So that one looks interesting. I'll say that. That one looks more like it's a movie up Smoke's alley than say Morbius does. But either way, I'd like to see them both myself. Yeah. Then next Tuesday, we've got on April 5th, we've got 2 releases, both on VOD, The Ice Demon and Midnight. Now, The Ice Demon actually comes out on DVD as well. So if you want to pick up a copy of that. But either way, there's all your new releases. So we've got 6 new flicks coming between now and next Tuesday at least. And I guess we'll wrap it up here with the horror anniversary dates. We've got 3 this week. You want to go through that, Donnie? You got that?
Yeah. So Adam Green, writer, director, actor, known for Hatchet 1 and 2, Victor Crowley, and Frozen. Not, you know, not the
Frozen Disney kids flick.
Yeah. I'm sure if we still had video stores, you know, I'm sure that one would get kind of mixed in with the other ones. Like, what is this?
You'd have to go back to the VHS days where that would. Well, I guess even in the DVD days, right? Like if you put the wrong disc in the case.
Yeah. You basically have to go, and I guess that's why maybe way back when they used to have kids videos like in a different colored plastic.
Yeah.
You know, but
and those clamshell cases and all that.
Yeah, big ass things. Anyway, but yeah, he was also a writer on Friday 13th video game. So he was born. Let's see, that would be tomorrow, 1975. So his birthday's tomorrow. Awesome. Kind of moving on into April, Robert Bloch. He was born April 5th, so his birthday's coming up. He was writer, author of Psycho, longtime friend of H.P. Lovecraft.
That's crazy. Like this dude actually had correspondence and was a friend of H.P. Lovecraft.
Right? Like
that's old. That is old fucking school there, son.
Yeah. Definitely.
Old horror here.
Yeah.
With Robert Bloch.
But yeah, I guess, you know, he would be known for Alfred Hitchcock's presents The Cabinet of Caligari. I'm probably fucking up that name, but
no, that's right, Caligari, yeah.
The House That Dripped Blood, Tales from the Dark Side. Directed 4 episodes of there, or wrote 4 episodes of that. And also Roger Corman, producer, director, actor. over 500 producing credits, which is insane. Co-writer of director of Little Shop of Horrors. That's actually the very first horror movie my dad saw. Scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, Roger Corman to thank for that.
Yep. Yeah, he also directed Bucket of Blood, The Pit, The Pit and the Pendulum, and Tower of London.
Oh, and among literally, like you said, hundreds of others. I mean, this is one where I wish Smoke was here to kind of expound on Roger Corman, man. Like this dude, king of the bees, like literally, like all the B movies of the 50s and 60s and into the 70s. That was Roger Corman. Like you said, over 500 producing credits. So like a stupid, just spitting them out left and right. King of the drive-ins, man. And he's still kicking. He's still alive.
Yeah, he'll be
96.
96.
Yeah, I think next Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I don't know if I want to live to be 96.
Well, yeah, that might be out kicking your coverage, but who knows?
Kicking your coverage, yeah, that's about right. But yeah, so that wraps it up. Say what?
I said I don't think I have that many miles on my insurance policy.
I don't know, but so yeah, just want to remind you guys about the latest, the Crapsterpiece Theater poll ending. It ends tomorrow. So there are your choices. You can hit us up on Shudder. I'm sorry, you can hit us up on Shudder. You can hit us up on our social.
Actually, while you're talking to Shudder, see if they'll sponsor this show.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. That'd be fun.
Mention us for 0% off.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely check us out there. And yeah.
Vote for anything other than the Apple.
Which means vote for the Apple.
No.
No, probably. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some more votes rolling in. As time expires.
We'll get some. I'm sure we'll have a lot that'll vote last minute. But there's your choices: the Apple, Nothing But Trouble, Jaws: The Revenge, which is Jaws 4, and Troll 2. So, and like I said earlier, we don't have a fancy graphic for it, but the first episode of Crapsterpiece Theater just came out last night over on patreon.com/AASpookShow. The Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Yep.
Why in God's name did you do this to us? But that's the first one. So it'll live on in infamy for that, if for no other reason than that. It's the very first one. So
that's actually its only claim to fame, as being the first episode of Crapsterpiece Theater.
Yeah.
That's it.
That being nominated for Razzies and losing them all. Somehow there's something worse.
Right. And then, we're coming soon. We've got episode 103. Josh chose Deathgasm. And then, so yeah, that'll be awesome. Really looking forward to that episode. And then also we've got our very first episode of Cannon Fodder, where we cover Over the Top, and Austin Trunick will be joining us there. And then also on Patreon, we will have Spook Show Rewind. This will be the fourth installment of that, where we cover Terrified from 2017.
Good things ahead.
Yep.
Lots of fun.
All good stuff. But yeah,
and I believe we'll leave you on one last note. I'm pretty sure next week on Deadline Horror News Live, we're going to spin the wheel again for our next Cult Corner episode.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that, because we need to go ahead and make a decision on what is going to be thrown down on Cult Corner. So come back next week for the next spin the wheel, make the deal. Not since Jake the Snake Roberts and Sting has there been a wheel spun with such high stakes.
Yeah. Or not.
Yeah. So you see it all there in front of you. That's the world of the Spook Show right there on the screen. So you don't want to miss a thing. Patreon.com/AASpookShow for all the other stuff. So for Will, who's on assignment, Smoke, who's having a good time on vacation, Donnie, I'm Josh. We are from the All-American Spookshow Horror Podcast, and we will talk to you right here next week.
See you guys.